A big hello to everyone. What is discourse? Discourse analysis, critical discourse analysis. According to David Crystal 1992, a continuous stretched language larger than a sentence. This word discourse derived from discursive, conversation, speech, act, and spoken, which is written and spoken. Phoneme, morpheme, word, phrase, clause, sentence, and discourse. Then we discuss discourse, concept of discourse, content in language use, approaches to discourse analysis, doing CDA, analysis of language use, explanation, interpretation of discourse, deconstruction of text. According to steps, language use, Brown and Huell, analysis of language use, context, situational context, background knowledge, and co-context approaches, conversational, speech act, ethnographic communication, and pragmatic. Norman Fairclough, according to text, discursive practices, and social practices. Text is descriptive, then discursive practices, interpretation, and social practices is explanation. He defined all these things in different phases. Discursive practices. These are social attitude, norms, culture, social practices, social community, approaches of CDA, dialectical, socio-cognitive, discuss, historical, social actor, and positive. Approaches of CDA, theoretical, ideological, historical, and all these. All the linguists like Ruth Wardick, Stephen Pinker, they define discourse analysis. A man is a recent invention. My optimism consists in saying that so many things can be changed, fragile as they are, bound up more with circumstances than with necessities, more arbitrary than self evidence. To stretch out the history of different ways in our culture that human develops knowledge about themselves. Foucault believes individuals give meaning to the object and events. To accept the face value of this knowledge and truth game and specific techniques to save the skin and make the argument. It focuses on the construction of language and text and takes into account the relationship between language and socio cultural context in which it is used. The way we see and comprehend the word is found in discourse, past and future, and now that is the present, the view, and word view. Discourse mean a discussion or a conversation. Discourse analysis means analyzing the discussion or the conversation. Discourse is in written and recorded. Discourse analysis involves reflecting how multiple word views are produced through the discourse of both spoken and written text. Conversational analysis, narrative analysis, stylistic analysis, and discourse analysis. We definitely discuss all these things. Discourse analysis has its own roots in the role that language plays in attaching meanings to text and the way we perceive the world. This method was first introduced by Zelig Harris in 1952 to examine the relationship between speech and writing. Analysis of language, relationship between linguistic and non-linguistic behavior. Language elements are distributed and how these elements are combined across different patterns of text. Discourse analysis is used to determine how ideas develop and change over a period of time in different contexts. These contexts are physical contexts, social contexts, mental contexts, linguistic contexts, role of the people involved in the conversation. We definitely come across all these contexts, and that's discourse analysis. Thank you.